Hey air signs, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot. This is for my Geminis, Libras, and Aquarius. This reading is kind of catching the energy from the full moon that we have tomorrow, and that energy will be apparent for the next month. And it's kind of an important moon. The full moon in Libra, full moons are always important because they bring a culmination or an ending to a cycle. And of course, with all endings is new beginnings. So I think especially where we're at right now, there's so much shifting energy, changing perspectives, ending one way of doing things and just starting to learn the new ways. And so as that energy is ripe, we step into this closing cycle with this moon. Now, the backstory of this moon is back in 1982 and 1993 was the last time that Saturn and Pluto met in the sign of Libra. Now, since then, we've closed that cycle out when we ushered in that new conjunction in January. Saturn and Pluto met in Capricorn, and that's been kind of this whole reason for all of this craziness that we're all going through right now. Massive changes in structures and routines, and changes in our careers, changes in our established relationships, changes in our foundations, really. But as this full moon culminates in Libra, it'll be that first full moon without that energy of Saturn and Pluto in the sign of Libra, which kind of overshadows our relationships. Whenever we have a luminary in the sign of Libra, it does shift our perspective to partnership. And so this full moon might bring an area of your partnerships to culmination. It is kind of a make or break, crossroads kind of energy. And it's crazy because yours, my air signs, is coming out as a real duality. There's a real Gemini energy within this entire reading. And I kind of want to dive into this for a second, specifically with my air signs. Now, whatever placement you're looking at, be it your sun, your ascendant, your moon, your Venus, whatever you have in an air sign right now, you're finally getting a little bit of relief. Now, Saturn is in an Aquarius, so there's still a level of needing to master discipline in your life. But we've got Venus and Gemini. The North Nodes are moving into Gemini. We have Saturn and Mars in Aquarius. So you see there's a lot of air energy, which kind of lightens everything up. Now we're breaking out of a mold of heaviness. And you might be sensing that within your relationships and your connection to others. The duality here comes across. You're kind of in this Princess of Cups energy with the sun. And this is a really fun energy, to be honest. This is really nice because the Princess of Cups can be really imaginative. You know, there's a dreaminess about this Princess of Cups. There's a level of daydreaming. There's a level of nostalgia that comes with her. Kind of like the ability to believe in the fairy tale and the happy endings. There's kind of a sense of hope and romance within that Princess of Cups. Sort of like that love will prevail, all kind of, you know, and when she comes in next to the sun, well, first of all, she's very emotionally in tune to what makes her happy. There's, in that particular sun card, there's a level of connection, of being one with self or being open and vulnerable with someone else. But there's a level of satisfaction. And it's at an emotional level. Now the duality steps in because then we have the card of Capricorn and the second house, right? These are all very earthy, very Saturn, although the second house is actually ruled by Venus, but it's a Taurus card. It's another sign of Earth, so it's fixed energy. So you may be feeling heart open, happiness, but then there may be another part of you that says that you need to focus right now. That although you may feel happy and like you want to play and you want to celebrate, and maybe this time is making you have to learn to discipline yourself and find balance. You know, Libra is all about balance. And the Princess of Cups and the Sun is like where you want to have fun and enjoy. Maybe you want to make the best of this by being with your family, creating really beautiful memories, and trying to focus on the bright side of the situation. But then there's another level where reality kind of slaps you in the face and it says, wait a second, you still have to work. There's still work that has to be done. And Capricorn has an ambition and a drive where if they become complacent, they really become uneasy. Capricorns are always looking ahead, right? They're always looking towards the future. So although they might enjoy a level of success here, a level of comfort, they're really out of their element if they're not doing something that's moving them towards success, that's moving them towards their future. And the future being the second house tells me that there's a lot of focus on your income, on your values, on your self-worth at this time. It's about wanting to harness that fairy tale and bring it down into a mundane level that's livable, that's a little more realistic. It's also a lot about how we're investing our energy and where we want to invest our energy. You know, do we want to use this time to excel in our careers? Or do we want to use this time to reconnect to our loved ones? That could also be a crossroads that we're at. And it could be a level of having, you know, you could be at a crossroads choosing between what makes you really emotionally happy in the moment or something, you know, being a little bit more realistic. It's an energy of like, do you want to blow all your money on a vacation? You know, we can't really travel right now, but the future we could travel. And I'm just saying there may be an element where you want to kind of do the big grandiose thing, the big investment, the big offer, the big love, the big happiness, you know, plan that big vacation. Or save for the future because you're unsure of what there will be, what's going to be left over. You know, Capricorn is always preparing. It's always networking. It's always looking for a way to go higher, be it in their wisdom, even in a spiritual sense. You know, a Capricornian energy, especially when Jupiter is in Capricorn, is the ability to oversee the hardships and get a spiritual perspective from it. So you may be met at a crossroads in which you kind of have to really consider what's realistic and what's not. The energy that maybe was in your recent past or what you're coming out of is Justice in reverse and the Queen of Swords. So this is definitely your energy. And when it laid out, it laid out like this. So I think you're coming out of a period of changing directions. You're really no longer focused on the things that didn't work out. You know, the Justice card in reverse is where maybe you were putting a lot of effort towards something, but you couldn't quite change the trajectory, couldn't change the outcome. You know, maybe a court ruling didn't go in your favor. Maybe there was a divorce or the breakup of a relationship, something that you had to accept and you couldn't change. And the Queen of Swords is looking away from that. So it's sort of cutting out what wasn't good for you anyways. It's cutting out what was stopping you from getting what you deserve. I feel like there's a real good change in focus here from the things you can't have to the things that you can have, the things that are very real. The Queen of Swords, your feminine energy, what you wish to attract, is looking right at this Queen of Pentacles. There's like a laser focus into what you want to invest in. And you're looking right towards this Queen of Pentacles. Now, if this Queen of Pentacles is an energy that you're taking on, it's an energy of someone who knows their worth. It's someone who is reliable and dependable, somebody who does encompass this earthy energy of safety and stability. But it's the good stuff in life, you know. It's a card of Taurus. It's appealing to the senses at the same time. There's a richness to this. So if this is you, then there may be kind of a stepping up. What you may have wanted or asked for in the past may not be good enough. You may have realized that you were selling yourself short. And so now you're stepping into kind of upping the game. You're starting to see your self-worth, and therefore you're asking for more in return. It's kind of the wanting the good life, you know, the nice house, the nice car, the nice things, and a level of stability, the Queen of Pentacles. Now, if that's not your energy, and it's the energy of someone you're hoping to invest in, someone you're hoping to move towards, that Queen of Pentacles, well, then there probably is pressure for you to up your game. You may feel actually slightly intimidated, like this person has more than you. Or, how do I want to say this? There's a vision towards a really rich future, a very abundant future in which you're attracting to you stability, wealth, abundance, or you're attracting someone who represents that. But your challenge card is the Page of Pentacles. It's your focus in the situation. So it's like you see something that you really want to invest in, and you know it's going to bring you a lot of abundance and a lot of happiness. It could be all of your dreams coming true, you know, that Princess of Cups and the Sun. It could be that opportunity that you've been waiting for. But it's requiring focus. Again, that Capricorn and that second house. It's requiring you to focus on the bigger picture. Now, the Page of Pentacles in reverse. This is a very immature energy. So it's like not willing to make even the slightest commitment. This is coming up for me too. If you're thinking of going back to school, you may be worried that you don't have the energy to make the big commitment, to follow through. But it's telling you that you do. If this is a relationship, you may feel like you don't have what it takes to do the hard work to bring it into fruition. Relationships are all about focus and work. And on the commitment. So whether it is a relationship or a job that you're trying to attract to you, the warning is to not get stuck in the little stuff. Don't get intimidated. It is all big picture stuff. It's all going to make sense, and you're going to have the strength. It comes out right next to the strength card. So whatever you can focus on, whatever you are able to focus on at this time by overcoming that Page of Pentacles with strength, with perseverance, the strength card, that's a card of the Leo, that's like kind of going after it with your heart. You can achieve it, that it's absolutely attainable. These big picture things, the big house, the big, the nice car in the driveway, all the things that represent comfort to you. Queen of Pentacles is all about the comfort. And right now it's about making the little investments, saving, making the moves, initializing plans. It's in the smaller steps now that the bigger things are born. It's in doing the little things. Now, the duality also comes out in both areas here with both sets of these cards, which I thought was really funny because it says get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. And then you got the Starseed card, what lights you up. So there's such a duality here between bringing your dreams, something that seems far-fetched or impossible or unusual, and bringing it down and grounding it to a place where it becomes something attainable. It's taking the dream and bringing it into a reality here in way of getting grounded. And you can look to nature to be the example, okay? You could get lost in nature and the way that things are done sort of organically. You plant a seed and nothing's there, and you sort of have to believe that the work is being done internally in order for that to grow. And then, by shining the light, the sun comes out and the light emerges, even lightning, the photosynthesis, all the chemical things that have to occur from outside sources start to take place, and that's when real growth occurs. And so if you're having a hard time understanding that it's the little steps that you're taking now that are going to contribute to that greater vision of success. If you're wondering if you're going to have the ability to see it through, turn a vision or a dream into a reality, you will. It's going to come through, and you're at a crossroads right now where you're starting to see the real potential in your visions. The starseed is what lights you up. Those are your dreams. That's what you're being called to do. If there's been disappointments or a loss of a job that seems to catapult you into a whole new situation you probably wouldn't have found yourself in. And from that place, you start to take the little things, you start to take the seeds, and you start to see them grow now. This is really all about the growth, and whatever level of commitment you're willing to invest in, it will be returned to you. The universe wants to invest in you. You need to invest in others. You need to invest back into the universe, into the beliefs. as the universe starts to show you things unfolding, prayers being answered, maybe even just little hints and clues and synchronicities that are speaking to you at this time. And it's kind of in order to keep you on track and keep you grounded and keep you, it makes you stay invested because you want to see what grows next, what happens next. That's kind of the really nice, if this is a relationship, it might start as a curiosity, it might feel really wonderful, but then, you know, you have to start to do the work. You have to start having the conversations and being grown up about it and creating the boundaries. You have to have the talk about how are we going to invest? What does our future look like? What do you want? What do I want? What do we need now? How do we invest? How do we start to create it? And if you're not willing to focus on those little things, then you'll lose sight of the greater picture. But right now you have strength for those little things. All it takes is a little bit of focus and you could like really move mountains with that Capricorn energy. And you got the stingray and the starfish. I'm going to read these to you. Also a duality because the starfish can be really alluring, but somewhat shallow. And the stingray can be a little bit scary, but really lighting up what's inside of them. So again, both elements being brought into your energy during this full moon period. This could be a really big decision about bringing a relationship to the next level of commitment. It could be at the crossroads of making an investment. It could be at the crossroads of accepting a new job offer. But these are the energies at play this month for you. The stingray. Developing confidence, a sense of self, or spine. The stingray card represents a pivotal point in personal growth. The moment has come when the stingray must decide between the old, which is easy, comfortable, and familiar, and the new, something that's challenging, uncomfortable, and unfamiliar. Pressure from family and friends makes the decision even more complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again as the force of Dharma growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. Okay, let's dig a little deeper into here because that got a little complicated. No matter what choice is made now, it's inevitable that this dilemma will surface again and again as the force of Dharma growing within the stingray is too strong to ignore. If there are things in your life that you continually throw a band-aid over and say, I'll deal with it later, that won't be allowed. You know, Saturn's moving into Aquarius. It's moving into an air sign, which is forcing you to get grounded, to deal with the things that maybe you didn't want to deal with, to stop appeasing people because there's a path and a destination that you're meant to be on, even if it disappoints people close to you. Even if it might not be the exact path you always planned on going, even if it's something unexpected, a change in path, you know, allowing you to be a little bit more fluid in what you love and allowing to build from there. But the force of Dharma growing within the stingray, I want to bring your attention to that because again, there may be periods where there's a lack of focus and you realize now the pressure's really on for you to make a decision. The pressure's really on whether you want to make this commitment or not. And there comes a time where you realize you can't make those decisions based on others. Dharma is our ability to give back, to share. It may be that you're being asked to give and share with others. And there may be a hesitation, but the hesitation will not be nearly as strong as the urge to do what you're supposed to do in the situation. So again, I feel like there's a lot of divine guidance here. Whatever's going to be is just going to take form. All you have to do is focus on it, because the rest is kind of falling into place. And then you got the starfish, which is a duality all of itself. This may be just for Geminis. It feels like a very Gemini reading. Starfish, beautiful, alluring, superficial, or shallow. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. Being around someone with starfish energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. The problem is these creatures have been reliant on how they look and what other people think of them for so long that they may have forgotten their deeper calling. When this card appears, it's important to ask, am I being swayed by outward appearances? And what dreams have I put aside to please others? Really important there, because that's that struggle where you might feel the urge to appease others and stay in your comfort zone, but the pressure of the universe is telling you to step out of that comfort zone and to go into something a little bit deeper. Something, going deep is kind of the same as climbing that mountain. So it's where the depth meets the air. Again, that duality of taking the dreams and bringing them into fruition. And it might be a big decision. It might be something that's different or uncomfortable. If it's a job, maybe you're going into a job that's really different than anything you've ever done before. If you're entering a relationship, it might be with somebody who's very different than anyone you've ever been with before. If you're searching for stability, you may have to step out of the comfort zone of a guaranteed paycheck, and really dive into those dreams. What are you willing to sacrifice for those? And who's here to help you? Who's showing up? Because that's another element to this. And at the same time, it's like the vision's all coming together. And no matter what you choose, your inner strength, who you really are, is going to emerge no matter what in the situation. So just focus. Focus on the big picture and then the little things you need to do and accomplish in order to get there. And Queen of Pentacles always reminds me that you need to remain in a place of now, and you need to remain in a place of gratitude at all times. When we're in this kind of energy, when we're recreating a new future, you want to be careful to create a vision of the future in which you're really grateful for what you have. If you're creating from a place of fear, you're going to get situations in which you have to be fearful or non-trusting. But if you're focusing on an energy of gratitude, well, it is things that you're grateful for that will grow and expand at this time. Your ability to focus gratitude for the little things, it really is all about focusing on those little things right now. Focusing on the little wins, one client here, one client there, one great date at a time, one great conversation at a time, all the little pieces coming together to form the whole. Gratefulness is like, in the little things, is like just being grateful that, you've got food, you're with your family, you have the absolute essential things that you need. Being grateful that you can look outside, even if you can't be outside and be with other people, maybe you find serenity and peace in just being in your backyard. It might be really beneficial to you to actually use gardening as a therapy. And this might sound funny, but like I said in the beginning, you turn to nature and for the actually witnessing the way the universe works, the way nature works, the way things grow from nothing but a thought, from a seed. And there might be something very therapeutic in acting that out in real life. If you have the opportunity in the next month or so, you know, the weather's breaking, spring is coming, we may not feel like it, but we might have more time to kind of do the yard work or maybe plant that garden you always talked about planting. And in the doing of that, in the getting into nature and getting grounded in that way, you might find a lot of strength to focus on what you really want and bring it into fruition. There's just a lot of clarity that comes from getting grounded, getting back to basics, remembering, you know, kind of all of the spiritual laws that are in place, that what you put out, you attract. What's within is what's in your outside world, right? If you're in a peaceful place, knowing that everything's going to be okay, that's kind of what you're going to get for your future. So be mindful of that and be grateful for the opportunity and the time to maybe plant that garden or just appreciate nature, appreciate your pets, appreciate, you know, the stable things in your life. It's a time to get out of your head, air signs, believe it or not. Nothing less, you know, the only thing is a really great vision. That's the only issue. That's the only energy I'm getting from the air quality within you, is just that overall vision and the drive to see it through. There's no negativity. There's no being in a negative place in your head, and there's no idea of self-sabotage. I think you've cut that out. And this is how the world starts to respond when you start to really believe in yourself and to believe in your happiness. This is really just a response from the universe allowing you to grow and to keep going. I think you're on a really good path. And I think you're going to make the right decision. I don't think it's advice that you need right now. It's just really the belief in yourself. All right, Gems. I'll be, Gems, Libras, and Aquarius. I will be checking in somehow, some way next week. You'll see. And until then, I hope you have a really wonderful week. And I hope that this full moon brings you a lot of clarity and wisdom. Okay. Bye.